in a battle that most of us did not think was going to be a battle, or at least not an entertaining one, between the Chicago Bears and the Denver Broncos, it turned into a terrific late game comeback for the Denver Broncos. And after a near perfect Justin Fields start, disaster in a 31-28 loss. Lorin Cox joins me now from Locked On Bears. And Lorin, this was for 3 3/4 the Justin Fields game that he needed to have. And then there's the end. What will you take out of this game?
There's so much to take out of this game. I think for Fields specifically, you look at sort of this difficult balance between, okay, what is progress from him and what is just a really bad Denver Broncos defense that gave up 70 points the week earlier to the Miami Dolphins. And I think there's a little bit of both in there, but I think for Chicago Bears fans, we saw Mitch Trubisky do this in 2018 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he had 6 touchdowns, and it was like, whoa, there he is, there's the guy. And then, of course, turns back into a pumpkin after you stop playing one of the worst defenses in football. So I think the takeaways are less for me about anything new with Justin Fields per se, and more about this coaching staff and this team blowing a 3-touchdown lead against a terrible defense and completely falling apart in a game that just feels absolutely unacceptable.
And against an offense that hadn't exactly been lighting the world on fire. For all of the Sean Payton invigoration that some people thought might happen, or certainly what Denver Broncos organizationally wanted to happen, Matt Eberflus was hired because of his defensive bona fides. They invested in this defense in a major way this offseason. So where are we with the Matt Eberflus experiment?
You know, the Chicago Bears have never fired a head coach during a season, but if there was in the entire history of the franchise, they've always waited till the end of a season. But this feels like the time to do it, right? That you had a historic offensive performance from your quarterback, a franchise record 16 straight completions to start a game, a career high in yards and touchdowns and completions in a game. Like, you took a historic offensive performance against a historically bad defense and had a historic collapse in that game. You would think that would be the time for a historic firing of your coach during the season, because I think Bears fans are now, if they weren't already, 100% out on the Eberflus regime.
And especially if you have questions about Justin Fields moving forward, this offseason feels like a blow it up moment potentially for Chicago anyway. So it's like, what are you really protecting? The question that I would have for you, Lorin, is their defensive coordinator resigned unexpectedly in the middle, but not even the middle of the season, in the first quarter of the season. And their offensive coordinator is the guy that Justin Fields had to call a second press conference, basically to say, I wasn't throwing him under the bus. So then what? If you fire Matt Eberflus, where do you go?
You hire Jeff Saturday. That's what you do. No, but like, that's the thing, right? When you fire Matt Eberflus, you're not firing him because you think, all right, we're going to make Getsy or whoever the interim head coach, and we're going to be better, right? The idea is not the firing head coach is going to turn this season around. Like, it's the team that needs a spark per se. It's about accountability. Like, what happens after you get fired or after you fire the coach doesn't really matter all that much. It's about the front office or ownership saying, this, what we've seen on the field is not acceptable. And we're not going to sit here and let him finish out the season here when what we're seeing on the field is not up to the standard for any team, or what we want to set the standard for our football team. So, I mean, I'm all for as much chaos and fun as possible. Fire the offensive coordinator too, promote the quarterback's coach to OC, see if you can do some different things offensively, maybe make the special teams coordinator your head coach, or go pick a former Bear, Brian Urlacher, to be the head coach, something like that, just for fun.
Brian Urlacher has hair now. People who don't know will be shocked when they see him if he makes an appearance on your screen anytime soon.